What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K21 Next Gen. Today, going to be doing the Nikola Vucevic Chicago Bulls rebuild. Obviously, I did not think, if I'm being 100% honest with you, that this trade deadline was going to be what it was. Obviously, it turned into a deadline where a lot of bigger moves were made. Where, if I'm being honest, it didn't really seem like much was going to happen. It was pretty quiet leading up to last Thursday, which was trade deadline day. I believe you guys are going to be seeing this one on Tuesday. I do apologize, I'm a little bit late on it, especially later in the weeks. That's when I get super busy with, schoolwork and stuff like that. So a little bit harder to make videos and get them out on time. Obviously, I could have, if I would have, I could have got this done probably by Friday, but it is what it is. We're getting it done today. So, Nikola Vucevic, officially one of the newest members of the Chicago Bulls. Huge pickup for them. I don't have it exactly memorized, I believe, yes. So, it was Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks. Obviously, 2K has now updated this. I'm recording this one on Monday, so everything is fully updated in 2K at least, by 2K standards. So, they're getting an all-star center here, which is absolutely huge for them. I think they were kind of in a plateau. They had a bunch of young pieces, obviously. Some might have been working out, some not so much. I thought Markin was going to be a guy who could have got some consideration at the deadline to get moved. Ultimately, they decided to stick with him on their team going forward as well. We do have Thad Young here, another veteran piece. I think if the Bulls honestly did not get Vucevic, I could have maybe seen them trading Thad Young. I know he's playing very well this year in real life, I believe, so that trade value probably would have been pretty high, but then again, it's hard to get rid of some of your best players. So, Kobe White, I'm super excited to use in this video. Obviously, I don't really have to mention it. Zach LaVine, one of the more underrated players in this entire league. They picked up, Daniel Theis, not my favorite player in the world. That was a trade with my Celtics. Of course, he's no longer here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably going to trade him immediately. So that being said, we did lose 2 first-round picks, but I still think the Bulls did win this deal. The Magic kind of just said fuck it at some point and just kind of let everybody go. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna be making some trades. Obviously, I do want to hopefully go ahead and reacquire some picks, kind of replace the 2 that we lost. But with that being said, I am very excited to do this rebuild. We have a deadly duo right here in Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. So I'll see you guys right off the bat with my first move. So our first trade right off the bat is going to be sending Daniel Theis and Garrett Temple over to the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to be getting Brook Lopez and Jordan Nwora back. Whatever the hell his name is. Lopez is obviously going to be our backup center. I believe right now Cristiano Felicio actually is our backup center. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather get somebody a little bit better. Also, I guess I know 100%. I watched him play on my Celtics. I know I can move Daniel Theis to center. He's literally started at center for the Celtics for quite a long time. But he's a free agent after this year, and he's going to probably want a decent amount of money because he's still only 28 years old. And you know how 2K is with some of these contracts occasionally. So Lopez is locked up for 3 years. Theoretically, if I want him here the entire video, he now is here the entire video. So also a tough decision on. I forgot that Thad Young actually had a team option. So if he was a straight up free agent after this year, because as you can see, Larry Marketing is as well. Marketing is just restricted though, and obviously the age difference there. What is that, 9 years younger he is? So that probably would have been a no-brainer, at least in 2K anyways. But this team option does kind of make it a little bit tough. We also did acquire Al-Farouq Aminu, obviously, in that deal, with Vucevic around the Orlando Magic. So Patrick Williams, fourth overall pick, is going to be our starting small forward right now. I don't know exactly how well he's playing. I really wish Start Today worked in this game for God knows what reason. They just cannot figure it out. And somebody please tell me who I should yell at, at some point, because I need to figure that one out. So, Troy Brown Jr. here as well. I believe they did a swap with Washington on that. I forget who exactly it was, but yeah, I'm not going to try to blow smoke up your ass and pretend that I have it right off the top of my head. So, I wouldn't mind maybe moving on from Denzel Valentine as well. Ultimately, I'm going to probably have to make an option with Al-Farouq Aminu as well. I could move him down to that backup small forward spot, but I think I'd rather just try to trade them both together. And get somebody new. So I'll see you guys with that next trade. Next deal here is going to be coming with the Portland Trailblazers, Al-Farouq Aminu and Denzel Valentine heading to Portland. We're going to be picking up Derrick Jones Jr. Yes, he's he's not expiring. He's a player option for $9 million something at the end of this year. But ultimately, I think he's a better player or a better fit at least at that backup small forward spot. So he's going to be the guy we go with. I did make the decision. I'm going to go ahead and start Thad Young. I know the CPU just did it right there, but that is the choice I did go ahead and make. I think Markin is going to be huge off the bench for me. I just ultimately don't think I don't think it would be smart to start him over Thad Young right now. I really don't. I think Thad Young could be very good for us. We are going to switch out these two right now and get Satoransky probably around 18 a night. 14 here. Derrick Jones Jr. is probably going to play about 10. And then, yeah, Troy Brown Jr. will be here. He's just not going to be playing as of now. Vucevic, I want to get around 36 too. Thad Young around 33. Pat Williams probably around 33 as well. 36 is fine. Probably 34. And actually, I'll give a 37th here to LaVine just because he doesn't have a backup, and I think it probably would be beneficial. So, the new and improved starting 5 right here. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Thad Young, and Nikola Vucevic is how it's going to look for us right now. Larry Marketing, I know, I say it all the time. I don't really like big men, especially, 7-footers as my 6 man. I prefer a guard. That's just kind of my preferential treatment. But I think in a situation like this where he's obviously clearly probably our best player off the bench, it does make sense. especially because he's young as well. He is an expiring deal, but I still think he's going to ask for quite a bit of money, but we'll cross that road when we get there. So he's going to remain as our 6th man. Thomas Satoransky here as our backup point guard, backing up Kobe White. Brook Lopez, our new addition from Milwaukee, we just picked up. Derek Jones Jr., new addition from Portland. So that is the team. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I really wish Start Today was working. If it was, this would obviously look a little bit different, I would say. It sucks, though. 2K sucks. It is what it is. But as of now, this is how the squad is going to look. If I make any trades at the deadline, I will obviously see you guys there. I just don't foresee that happening, though. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. So year number 1 has come to a close here. As you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen, currently an 8 seed right now. I think the Bulls are like a 10 seed right now in real life. I think they're like maybe 6 games under 500, whatever it is. Obviously, the East is not the West. The Eastern Conference is not even close to as good as the Western Conference, at least talent-wise. But yeah, I don't know if the Bulls will end up, pulling it out and making, one of the 7-8 spots in the the Eastern Conference, but we will see. That's why, I said wish Start Today worked. Things probably would have been a little bit different, but ultimately maybe very, very similar. So getting back to this, LeBron James MVP, currently my number 2 in the MVP department. I mean, I know that injury kind of screwed him up a little bit, but as of now, I'm still going to go with LeBron as number 2. If you can't figure it out, I guess I do have Nikola Jokic as number 1, and Embiid's obviously still up there as well. LaMelo Ball is your Rookie of the Year. Definitely an interesting conversation. If he does come back, I think he probably has it locked up, but we will see. Between him and Anthony Edwards, these dudes have both been absolutely balling out for strong candidacy for Rookie of the Year. Spencer Dinwiddie, 6th Man of the Year in Brooklyn. Giannis Stevens, Player of the Year in Milwaukee. Christian Wood, Most Improved. Steve Nash, 62-20 is the record of the Brooklyn Nets, and they are who we are facing, funny enough, in round number 1. We end up going 41-41, so exactly at 500. We're going to go ahead and check out these player stats real quick right off the bat. Zach LaVine, I mean, he's just... the dude's unbelievable. The dude is just unbelievable. Vucevic is obviously a huge pickup for us right here. Also, I just want to emphasize, I know I said this in like previous videos before, typically I do this more with like big free agent signings and like the offseason when I tend to do these kind of videos. Like if Vucevic was a free agent, I know he's not, just hypothetical. If he was a free agent and we were in, mid-July right now, whatever the hell the free agency starts, and he signed with them and I was doing a Nikola Vucevic like Bulls rebuild, I would not trade him. I'm not saying I'm going to trade him. I'm just saying if I do trade him, it's a little bit different than like a free agent signing. That's just how I've always done it. I don't know if you guys, remember all these old ones from like a year ago, pre-COVID stuff like that. But if I trade him, that's just how this is going to go. I'm not saying I have any plans of doing that right now because I currently do not. Whoops, wrong way. But if I do, I know some people get all mad about stuff like this. So just want to put that out there now. Kobe White, 3rd in scoring, and then Larry Markin off the bench. So Thad Young's stats were actually a little bit worse. I mean, it was the obvious. I'm not going to go with Thad Young. I just know he's the better player. At the time, he will still be starting in the playoffs for us. I know one thing, veteran experience in the playoffs is definitely very, very necessary. So Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, Hassan Whiteside, the starting 5 here. For the nope. Wow, I'm all over the place today. For the Brooklyn Nets, they end up beating us in 6. So yeah, it is what it is. Brooklyn and Lakers in the finals. Probably my pick for finals in the real life right now. LeBron James, 36 years old, gets another finals MVP. So we're going to enter the draft lottery. Obviously, I do not believe we have a lottery pick. As you know, we were in the playoffs. I don't think we have any traded for anything like that. Wow, look at like Nets are going to get pick 7 after they just were in the finals. That would be interesting. Sacramento Kings end up with the #1 overall pick. All right, staff signing right now. I'm going to keep Billy Donovan for now. Obviously, the Chicago Bulls by no means are a small market team. We're not the LA Lakers, the New York Knicks, but we're not a small market team whatsoever. It sucks there's only a B+ trainer here. That is a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to try to sign 2 decent assistant coaches. So, we're in an interesting spot with this team right now where I wouldn't say we're exactly, whoops, I just don't have the money for it right now. I guarantee, let me go ahead and sign Peterson right now. It's the same budget. Not that we are, in a bad spot right now, because I actually think we are in a pretty good spot. I think this will actually end up working out for us pretty decently. I do think we have enough young talent on this team. I think we can go ahead and focus on maybe, some trades and stuff like that. Potentially a free agency signing or 2. I don't really see anything, immediately that I think is going to be huge for us, but we will cross that road when we get there. I have no idea where CJ Ellaby came from. I do not believe he's on this team in real life. I don't know. I might have made a trade. So we just traded our 2nd round pick in that this year as well. We're going to go ahead and probably move our 1st. I don't really know if I need it. I'm comfortable keeping Lopez off the bench. 2 veteran centers is not a bad idea when you have a team like this with some pretty young talent in your starting lineup, i.e. Kobe White, i.e. Patrick Williams. LaVine's obviously still young. I mean, not that he's not a great player, but I don't mind moving our 1st. I think we can definitely get a decent 1st maybe in the future. I'm not just going to swap it with the first thing I see. So, let's see. Is this a pick? Let's just swap worse. This has always confused me. I will do, let's see. See, that's the thing. We're only really getting, okay, 2 picks with swaps with Houston. I'm going to hope one of those turns into something. So it might not have been the best idea in the world, just, say screw it, but we did get 2 picks there. So that's not bad. We're going to bring back Thad Young. Obviously, he's probably going to be in some trade rumors for us right now. Derek Jones Jr., as I expected, did decline. We'll bring back Archie Diacono. Probably trade him as well. I'm interested in keeping Troy Brown Jr. around for a little while. Nothing's, 100% on there, obviously. Larry Markkinen is a free agent as well, so we are obviously going to have to look to re-sign him. But I do have a couple trades in mind. It might be something a little big. It might disappoint a couple people, but I do have something in mind, and I will see you guys with that move. So I know I just said I was going to do some big, giant trade. We're not doing that right now. Jordan Nwora and Ryan Arcidiacono heading over to Miami for 2 first-round picks, another swap with Houston, which actually could turn into something pretty decent for us. So what I'm going to do right now, what I'm going to focus on, is right now re-signing Larry Markkinen. I think it's pretty obvious. Wow, look at Brooklyn, just wants everybody under the sun. I think it's pretty obvious that no matter which way I go about this next year, I mean, obviously, is Kobe White a free agent next year? Because that's something that I should definitely, take into consideration, because it's going to affect how I deal with this. So he's actually not, because I believe that's his contract for this. Yes, it's his contract for this upcoming season, because I picked up that option. So I could theoretically perhaps have enough money, because I do have to re-sign Zach LaVine next year. This is his final year of his deal coming up. I don't know. Because what I'm either going to do right now is I'm going to give Larry Markkinen, the max contract right now, or I'm going to give him his rookie deal, or just like the little glitch it does when you give somebody the qualifying offer. But I think I'd rather prefer to give him the bigger deal right now, and then if I have to trade him, obviously I can do that then. So I think that's probably the smart way to go about it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Larry Markkinen a contract. Obviously, he's not going to accept that from Brooklyn right now. I think I'm going to let Derrick Jones Jr. Let Derrick Jones Jr. walk. I think I'm going to slide Troy Brown Jr. into that backup small forward spot. I don't think LaVine still requires a backup. I mean, he just put up 30 points a game. Doesn't really look like he needs one. Obviously, Markkinen's coming back, as I mentioned. We didn't. Devin, what? Felicio can go. So now we're just kind of waiting on Markkinen. So definitely not renouncing the rights on him. Javonte Green, Celtics legend, can go right now. So I'll get through, moratorium, stuff like that. Make sure I do not renounce the rights on Larry Markkinen right here. He's actually going to get one from the Heat. Just a 2-year deal. It's a very similar type of idea. It's the entire video throughout. So that is fine. But wait, please tell me they didn't give him a player. Okay. Wanted to make sure that it wasn't, 1 year and then a player option, because that would have screwed me just as equally. If I'm being honest with you, the deal I was thinking about making was getting a new starting small forward. Not that I don't think Patrick Williams is going to be, good. I think he very well could be. I just think if we want to win a championship in a 3-year time span, I don't really know if it's, ideal to go ahead and have Patrick Williams starting for us. I mean, I think he could very well be good for this team in real life. I just don't know. I'm going to give him 1 more year, though. I'm definitely going to give him 1 more year. And if, by year 3 or by next offseason, if I trade him for somebody else, doesn't mean I'm just, giving up on him. I mean, technically I am, but my goal is to win a championship, not to, please Bulls fans here and please whatever team I'm doing a rebuild on. So I want that definitely to be understood. Thad Young is definitely getting traded right now, though. And whether it's just for a new backup power forward that's under contract longer, because I am not paying him next offseason. So Thad Young deal is definitely going to be in the works, and I will see you guys with that trade. So we're going to be doing this deal right here with the Miami Heat. Thad Young and an unprotected 2nd-round pick. I don't know why I felt the need to add the word unprotected. Heading to Miami, we're going to bring back Precious Achiuwa, bring Precious Achiuwa and bring back Jordan Nwora, who was here for a little while. So that trade goes through. Nwora's just going to go ahead and get me another pick. I'm just loading up in the pick department right now, because if we do not win a championship this season, which if I'm being honest, I don't really foresee us doing that. It means I definitely need to have a lot of ammo to go ahead and try to get that done in 1 offseason next year. So I definitely still do want to give our young guys a chance to develop. No matter what, I will be starting Markkinen. Precious Achiuwa will be coming off the bench for me. So that is a rotation of 9 guys. Thomas Satoransky is also a free agent after this year. I could perhaps, whoa, that was a weird little accent I had there. Perhaps look to go ahead and get a different backup point guard for him right now, just so I don't have to worry about that, when that road comes. But if I don't get anybody, it's on a multi-year deal. I'm just going to kind of let that one go for now. It's just because it's a backup point guard. It's not that important. Tyus Jones free agent as well after the season. DeLon Wright, probably similar type of vibe. Definitely not getting into like the pick swapping department for these guys right here, just as my backup. So yeah, we're fine by that. We do have 9 guys under roster right now, or under contract, that are all going to be in this rotation. I'm very comfortable with this team. I'll see you guys with the rotation at the start of year number 2. We're all set here with the rotation at the start of year number 2. I'm very excited to see how this team is going to turn out. The starting 5 remains a little bit different. I mean, it's basically exactly the same. We just swapped Thad Young and Larry Markkinen, so that was my main point. If I'm being honest, I don't love this front court defensively. I think a lot of people are probably going to have that same assumption in my comment section, but I'm fine with it. I think we definitely need, a new, if we're going to trade for anybody new, they definitely need to be very good on the defensive side of the ball. So that'll be my kind of my one final point as of now. But year number 2, this is how the rotation is going to look. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Larry Markkinen, and then Nikola Vucevic bench unit. I'm still going with a big man. He's not even really that big of a big man. He's 6'8". He plays backup center for the Miami Heat, but I think that's more of a fit thing. I kind of prefer him at the power forward spot, but again, we're not getting into it right now. I moved him power forward, obviously, but he will be coming off the bench for us, that being Precious Achiuwa. Troy Brown Jr. here as well. We just slid him up to that small forward spot, also a free agent after this year, so we will have to make a decision there. Brook Lopez still has 1 more year after this year, but he's probably going to be gone just, age-wise. He did just dip 3 overall, so he's only playing 14 minutes a night, though, so it is not that big of a deal. I'm going the wrong way right now. And then the final guy getting 10 minutes tonight is Thomas Satoransky. I'm pretty comfortable with this team right now. I think especially off the bench, we have a good mix of veterans and some young talent as well. Obviously, the starting five is a little more younger besides Vucevic, but I'm still very comfortable with it. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Obviously, if a trade is made at the deadline any other time, you guys will see it. But as of now, this is the team. Let's hope we do well. So something went right with this team this year. We obviously didn't make any huge changes last offseason. Maybe it's just the young guys developing a little bit better, but we ended up being a 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. My plans were obviously to probably make some sort of very big trade this offseason, you know, if needed. As of now, it's not really looking like it's needed. So if we don't win a championship this year, which again, I'm not saying is 100% locked that we will or will not, that trade may or may not have to actually end up happening. So nonetheless, Joel Embiid does take home the MVP award. Very solid season from one of the best centers in the league. I'm still taking Jokic over him. You're not going to change my mind on that. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year for the Orlando Magic. Obi Toppin, 6th Man of the Year in New York. Jonathan Isaac, Defensive Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. And Billy Donovan, Coach of the Year. We go 60-22. So I'm definitely very excited about this team. I'm still a little nervous about the playoffs because, again, we still are a relatively young team. We take a look at some player stats. Levine went down, I think it was at 3.5 points. But, again, we're getting the young guys developed. Obviously, Markkanen's in the starting lineup. He's going to be scoring a little bit more. He's more of, you know, a scorer than probably Thad Young, maybe a little bit anyways. Kobe White, so Vucevic did take another little bit of a dip, but again, he's still solid. I don't really see a reason. Patrick Williams, I'm happy I didn't make this move and trade him. Really solid sophomore campaign right there. I don't know if he was exactly a candidate for, you know, maybe a most improved type of vibe, but probably not. But you know what I'm saying. He's definitely developing a little bit. Achua off the bench was pretty solid for us. So, yeah, I think we got to just kind of keep this, you know, flow going right now. We take a look at the Toronto Raptors, who are our matchup in round number 1. Kyle Lowry's overall is taking a dip. I'm still surprised they didn't end up moving him. I really am. I'm really surprised that the Lakers got hung up on, you know, Talen Horton-Tucker being kind of the final thing that didn't get them Kyle Lowry. I mean, that's interesting. Look, I don't know. If I was running the Lakers, I probably would have given up THT, but again, that's probably also why I'm not running the Lakers. So we are up 3-1, and are you fucking kidding me? All right, trade's coming. See you guys in the offseason. Philadelphia goes on to win the finals. Joel Embiid is your finals MVP. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, it was definitely not... Okay, don't get me wrong. I wasn't very 100% confident we were going to win a championship. I definitely didn't think we were going to lose to the retirement home Toronto Raptors in round number 1. Like, you kind of catch my drift, catch what I'm saying right there. So, something needs to be done. I'm definitely thinking about at least getting a new coach. That's for starters. We're going to, you know, reject all... reject all of those. I also totally forgot to even do that last offseason. That is my apology. So, I don't see the Bulls anywhere. I don't even think any of them for this year anyways. Indiana ends up with that number 1 overall pick. Staff signing. Billy Donovan's actually gone anyways, so I actually really don't mind that. I'm going to hopefully get those 3 untapped potentials. And then in the head coach department, Steven Silas, whatever his name is, I apologize. It's going to come in here and be our new head coach. I don't think it's a bad move by any means. I think, you know, just getting somebody new in here perhaps that, you know, has a new, like, little system, whatever hell 2K wants to call it. Definitely not a bad idea for this squad, at least. So, we do have pick 27 and pick 29 in this year's draft. I'm not going to use either of those. Can have fun in Atlanta. Get a little more trade ammo if we do need it, if I do say so myself. So, Precious Chua, Kobe White, Patrick Williams, all going to be coming back. 3 guys that we definitely wanted back. Kobe White, Troy Brown Jr. will be getting that qualifying. And now we're into free agency. Obviously, we have Zach LaVine. He is our number 1 priority. That is not even close. So, I think my thing is right now, I'm very comfortable if these 2 have to go. We do currently have, you know, money in free agency, but if I'm actually going to sign any of the top guys, that does, you know, go ahead and probably mean that I do have to trade either Vucevic or Larry Markkanen. That's also why I mentioned the possibility of a Vucevic trade, because I knew that this was a possibility at some point in time. So Kevin Durant has 10 offers. Looks like the Knicks are his number 1. We actually don't even have enough money to straight up sign KD right now, which is unfortunate. So I got to make a decision. Do I want to go home, like go big? Because I know I can get Jimmy Butler right now. I could probably get Jimmy Butler. Do I want to try to get Jimmy Butler, though? I mean, I'm going to give him the offer. If he wants to come back home to Chicago, man, I might have to do it. All right. I'm going to take Jimmy. Obviously, I cannot sign him right now. I'm going to renounce the rights here, and it means I do have to go ahead, and I do have to trade either Vucevic or I do have to trade Larry Markkanen. I think it's probably going to be Markkanen just because Precious Chua can slide into that power forward spot right there. So I didn't want to trade Markkanen. I kind of wanted to keep him throughout this entire video, but it's Jimmy Butler. He's probably a sleeper candidate for MVP right now, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and probably just dump him. Honestly, if I can maybe get, like, this is fine. It's not exactly the deal I was looking for. We do have a lot of picks, so I'd probably do it for picks, and we also are on the final year. Just to play it safe, I'm also going to get rid of Brook Lopez, something I was going to do anyways. Almost making $14 million at the age of 34. Just really do not need him here right now, if we were being honest. So, obviously, I'm excited to have Jimmy Butler. It's going to be a huge new addition for us. Is the game going to let me go ahead and sign both of them right now? That's a trade exception. I don't know if it is. Okay, so it's not. So 35 million. How much did I give him per year? What is that? 113. What? It's basically 114. What is 114 divided by 3? 38. All right, so I need to clear up $3 million. I actually thought I had enough. I do not. So $3 million. Shumu Kiki. Like, I'm literally just, I gave away Larry Marketing literally for nothing, which it sucks. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I am obviously going to keep Patrick Williams from, or he's going to remain off the bench. Again, I'm sure after that year, then I just kind of hyped him up a lot that it's not, you know, probably what you wanted me to do. But Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler at the end of the day, and he is now officially the newest member of the Chicago Bulls. Oh, excuse me, we have one more day. The newest member of the Chicago Bulls team. So him and Zach LaVine are going to be a great duo together. If I'm being honest, I still think Zach LaVine's probably not going to have a backup. I'm very comfortable moving RJ Hampton down to that backup point guard spot. Goes down to a 76. He's still only 21 years old, though. So LaVine still will not have the backup. I'm going to keep Patrick Williams behind Jimmy Butler. Achua's going to... I'm happy I made the trade for him. He's going to be our new starting power forward, obviously, and then Nikola Vucevic there as well. So I need a new backup power forward. I need a new backup center, and then we're basically going to be all set for the rest of this video. Hal Horford is old as hell. I would think Robert Covington would bring, you know, good veteran presence, good 3-and-D guy to the bench, and then at that center spot, Gordy Jang, who... People flipped at me on Twitter. I literally said I prefer Gorgie Jang over Al Horford over Andre Drummond right now, and people gave their opinions about how wrong I was. This also sucks that I traded for, you know, 100 first-round picks, and I'm really not going to be able to get to use any of them. I might look to maybe trade Hampton, maybe try to improve that spot. I also think Vernon Carey Jr. could be a good pickup here for us. Nick Richards, actually. We're going to pick him up from the Charlotte Hornets. Just, you know, getting some little bit of younger guys. I don't want exactly, like, rookie guys. I know I just traded for one in Nick Richards, but he's not a rookie, but you know what I'm saying. If I can maybe just improve Hampton a little bit. I mean, again, I mentioned that I have all these picks. Not that I need to use all of these picks. You know, a lot of the picks that I did receive was just dumping money in other places. But so you know what I'm saying. But I would like to use a couple of them at least. Jayshawn Tate. He's a little older, right? He's 26. Yeah, I didn't think he was like super, super young. I'm just a homer in the Peyton Pritchard department, but maybe I can actually improve Covington. Maybe Covington can be the guy. I know I hype all these guys up and then I blink and I trade them, but if I can maybe get a better backup power forward for Robert Covington and 2 first-round picks, I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to do that. So let's see my options right here. I believe Patrick Williams probably will be my 6-man next year at power forward spot. I actually probably do prefer Doug McDermott a little bit. He's listed as a small forward right now currently. Jay Crowder. I can get Cole Anthony. Frank the Tank Kaminsky. Actually, I'm going to do this. Ready? Frank Kaminsky's going to come in here. He's a little bit younger as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to package Tyrell Terry, RJ Hampton, and another first-round pick in hopes of getting somebody even better as the new backup point guard spot. Also, why is Cameron Payne really playing well enough to be a 78 overall, or am I just like out of my fucking tree right now? I just have no idea. All right, I'll make this trade manually. I'll see you guys in the rotation at the start of next year. So year number 3, the third and final season here. This is how the starting 5 is going to look. Obviously, we have a huge new addition here of Jimmy Butler. The rest of it looks like this. Kobe White, Zach LaVine remain our backcourt. I said, you know, previous season that if we were going to make any sort of big deal, I wanted it to be a very good defensive player, you know, for pretty obvious reasons. I mean, Larry Marketing is gone. We replaced it with Preston Achua, but you know what I'm saying. Jimmy Butler, obviously one of the better defensive players in the entire league. So super excited about having him here. You know, a little bit more of a veteran presence. Maybe we won't lose to the retirement home known as the Toronto Raptors in the first round next year. Achua slides into that starting power forward spot. Nikola Vucevic still here. I'm actually ended up happy I didn't end up, you know, going ahead and trading him. So bench unit, Patrick Williams, I know he kind of, you know, took off a little bit last year and I ended up, you know, not trading him. But I did bench him. He's still playing 2 quarters, technically, of this game, 24 minutes a night, so it's not that bad. Frank Kaminsky we brought in. Zeke Naji I ended up just trading for. I ended up doing like a couple moves, and RJ Hampton remains. So it's just a bench unit. It's nothing that big of a deal, but I am very happy and excited about this team. I think this team's going to do very well. I'll see you guys at the end of the third and final year. So for the second straight year in a row, we end the season as a 1 seed. Again, hoping this year goes a little bit better than the playoffs did last year. Trae Young, MVP, 32.5 points, 2.5 boards, almost 12 assists on the season for him. Obviously a very solid campaign. Something I've also been noticing a lot, you know, more recently in 2K anyways, is that we don't seem to be getting as many repeat MVPs. Like, we get a different guy every year. Not that it's not obviously possible to go back-to-back in the MVP department, but it's good to see, you know, things switching up a little bit. Not that the players really switching up a little bit, but you kind of catch my drift. I'm not even going to pretend to know who the hell that is. Jalen Smith is 6th man of the year in Phoenix. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Defensive Player of the Year. Kira Lewis Jr., Most Improved. Steven Silas does win Coach of the Year for us. We go 69-13. Don't make me say it. Nice. Let's see. We are 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, obviously taking on the Orlando Magic. So Vuce's old team. here in round number 1. Before we do get into that, though, let's look at some player stats real quick. Zach LaVine's still our number 1 scorer, Kobe White. So Jimmy obviously takes, a little bit of a backseat in the scoring department. I don't really need him to score. Not that I think in real life, at the age of 32, 33, whenever he signed, even if he was on this, this exact team, do I think he put up 15 points a game? No, I think he'd be probably more around 20, but they kind of dip his tendencies a little bit. It happens with a bunch of guys, DeRozan, guys like that. I think it happens with McCollum even when you trade for him. So it's weird, but it's just how 2K works. So, I just care about winning. I don't really care what the numbers look like. We take a look at the starting 5 for the Orlando Magic. Wow. I didn't even realize that I gave him Larry Markin. Like, I didn't put it together that that's who I traded him to. I'm sure a bunch of you did. But, yeah, Wendell Carter Jr. and Larry Markin in their front court's back. That's actually a really solid young 8 seed right there as well. So let's hopefully get this one done. It takes 7 games, but we do. Us in Milwaukee here in round number 2. Jared Butler down to Devin Paul George. Paul George just made his way to Milwaukee. He replaces Chris Middleton there. So Paul George and Giannis are playing next to each other. Luckily, we beat them in 5. I believe Philly might have already won a finals in this video. I think they won last year. Tyrese Maxey, Terry Rozier is now in Philadelphia. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. Obviously a very scary starting 5 right there. We beat them in 7. And us in San Antonio. DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Amoni Bates, DeMar DeRozan still here, Evan Mobley, Amoni Bates. It's the draft class. It's the 2022 draft class. It's just I don't have a good one, so it turns into Amoni Bates being literally an MVP candidate in his 2nd season. So it's how it goes. I can't find a good 2022 draft class, and apparently none of you can either. So we do still win, nonetheless, in 6 games. Zach LaVine does get a finals MVP. Good to see him getting a ring as well. Same with Jimmy Butler, pretty much all these guys on this team. So, as always, if you guys are new around here, please do make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 30K. Again, I say it a lot. I cannot get as many videos out as when I'm at home, summer break, whatever it may be. It sucks. I do the best I can here, whenever I have free time. I try to get as many out. So let me know. Obviously, we still have a bunch of deals from the deadline. I could do an Aaron Gordon Denver Nuggets rebuild. I'm going to probably do the other side of this deal with the Orlando Magic coming up very shortly. And then, probably might do a 48 Celtics rebuild. I don't really know about that one. But, yeah, that about does it for me. If you guys enjoyed, as always, feel free to leave a like. Thank you guys all for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys all in the next one.